Good evening. This is Cinema Avalanche, and in today's video I will be discussing the assassination and untimely death of Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA, along with my thoughts on everything that has unfolded in the aftermath that followed afterward. First and foremost, I would like to express my deepest condolences to Miss Erica Kirk. As a Gold Star survivor, I know all too well what it is like to not have a father in the equation, to lose a parent, after they themselves lost a battle with their own demons in 2007. And it is incredibly saddening that Charlie's children now have to go through the same things that I had to go through in life, knowing that their father will never be there for them, to watch them grow up into successful adults, much less his daughter not being there to, walk her across the aisle at her wedding. It is deeply, deeply sickening that some people think that, because he had a different opinion than me, he deserved to die. No, the hell he didn't. This was more than just a person who was speaking his mind that was taken away. This was a husband, a father. And I'm not going to sit here and watch people call them out without, calling them out first and hoping that they realize the error of their ways. At 12:23 p.m. on Wednesday, September 10th, 2025, exactly 1 week before I started recording this video, Charlie Kirk was wrongfully taken from this earth by a 22-year-old assassin who thought it be best to take the life of someone who he hated so much. And if I were to think of a motivation for the person that did it, I think there is no other motivation to look no further than greed and envy. Envy that they themselves cannot have the same level of fame that Charlie Kirk had, so that they instead decide to snuff that candle out. And that, to me, assassinating someone for having a different viewpoint than you, that alone is a prime example of political terrorism in this country. Since the prefrontal cortexes of most radical leftists aren't fully developed, I feel that it is necessary to re-educate them on what terrorism is, because there are some people out there that think that, Charlie deserved it, and that the assassin was not a terrorist. Oh, how wrong and misinformed some people are. According to Google, the definition of a terrorist, and what the FBI also classifies as terrorism, is when a person who uses unlawful violence and intimidation, especially against civilians in the pursuit of political aims, carries out that violence for said political gain. And it could also be used for societal or ideological gain as well. And that is who the assassin was at the forefront when he committed what he did. A political terrorist. Again, according to Google, the definition of a person that is deranged when used in reference of a person is an individual that is wildly irrational, crazy, insane, or uncontrolled, and can also be used to describe someone that is mentally unsound or unwell. And to me, that word describes perfectly who the assassin that murdered Charlie Kirk was at the forefront, alongside being a terrorist. And also describes who everyone defending the assassin's actions are. Deranged. And it also perfectly describes the people that say that he deserved it. Much less those who do not, care whatsoever about what Charlie had to say, and they hated him. I'm going to read to you a Facebook post from a former friend of mine that I stopped talking to in 7th grade who had known me since kindergarten. Please don't tell me something happened to Good Luck Charlie. Now, there will be other posts that I read in this video that are far, far worse. But I knew from that post alone that she did not have anything nice to say about Charlie. And the fact that she said it with her whole chest on her Facebook page, mind you. A single mom at that. It really makes you wonder what she told her kids when Charlie was whacked. It really makes you wonder. People like that who make vicious and hateful comments about someone's death deserve to have everything stripped from them. Be it their jobs, be it their homes, be it anything that earns them money or a way to thrive in this world. And there are way worse out there. Another one I've known since middle school said, I just saw a comment that said, I don't support what happened to Charlie, but what Charlie supported, he supported what happened to him. And I feel that. Even posts like that tell me that you're clearly not human. Another post from a content creator who's autistic like myself. You're not a bad person for having empathy for Charlie Kirk. Do I have empathy for him? I shed no tears or waste feelings on a man who excused the R word, called for violence against the LGBTQ community, and also perpetuated white supremacy propaganda. Do I think him being shot will solve anything? Absolutely not. There will be retribution against the people of our country as a result of Trump's ally being whacked. The people who will be punished get my empathy, not a piece of crap like him. And even that alone, she posted on her Instagram that post with a song from Paramore's fourth self-titled album, which is actually supposed to be a song describing people who act all big and bad facing the reality of the real world. And she's repurposing it for the fact that she expresses no empathy for Charlie. The idiocracy of some people really flabbergasts me. Another one over in New York went viral on Threads for saying this: R.I.P. Charlie Kirk. You would have loved debating that your death was a necessary part of liberty. With over 24.3 thousand likes at the time of her posting it, and over 1,500 reposts. Yeah. That really disgusts the crap out of me. Other people on Twitter have said things like, oh, they couldn't use a quote from him because everything that he said was racist, open hate, and bigotry. LMAO. So what, you think Charlie's death was funny? Another person that I've known since 6th grade said this after posting something from Shannon Watts on Twitter discussing the governor of Utah. It's the normalization of stupid, dumb crap like this. And this type of nasty rhetoric doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It's built up by fascists? Wow, really? Well, I'm not going to go personally into depth on what the definition of a fascist is, because if I did, this video would be over an hour long. But if you don't know the definition of a fascist, and if you don't know how to actually use it in a sentence, please get off the internet. Another person, who I've known for a pretty long time, said this: so now you can spew hate and be a racist bigot, and the orange buffoon that's in office will come to your funeral. Give you the Presidential Medal of Freedom, spelling metal as in Metal Gear Solid, and the people in Congress are so effing dumb. They're gonna have this man's body, or try to have this man's body, lie in state, with him spelling lion like the Lion King. Lion State, what the F did he do? The last time I checked, you have to be in Congress or Supreme Court or something like that, but I guess Charlie Kirk is special and gets all of that regardless. He didn't do anything except for hate and division. When Melissa Hortman, a representative from Minnesota, was shot and murdered by a Trump supporter, and when Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania's House, was I'm not going to say this word. I'm pretty sure it was a Trump supporter. And while he has a fair point about Melissa Hortman, which I'll get to in a second, he then goes on to say, nobody in Congress of the Republicans said one word and condemned any of this either thing, and Donald Trump was such a punk that he said it'd be a waste of time to call Governor of Minnesota Tim Walz, but now that Charlie Kirk's dead, spelling it as dad, it's so horrible when people that are Democrats get whacked, the people of the Grand Parade, as in the Grand Old Party, doesn't care at all, only when it's their own people. Now, as I put this post on screen, you can clearly see that this individual has horrible grammatical skills, and he probably had autocorrect turned off when writing it. Goes to show that some people on the left really lack the proper skills of writing out their statements, and if you can't at the very least use autocorrect built into your phone to proofread all your statements, you really, really, really deserve to be called out. Now, as I said earlier, he has a point about Melissa Hortman, who was a representative from Minnesota that got whacked by a MAGA supporter. But, in all honesty, did anyone see me celebrating Melissa Hortman's death? Even the lead singer of Nothing More, Johnny Hawkins, said to himself that on his Instagram, mind you, that he simply didn't really know who Melissa Hortman was, and I barely knew her either. But that doesn't make us people that would celebrate her death, because if anything, if we were out here parading on our Twitters that, oh, Melissa Hortman got whacked, we're just going to celebrate this tonight, that would make us no better than the people that are celebrating Charlie's death right now. Then we have this 4th grade teacher that I know from the DMV, who just recently posted to her Instagram, following what happened with Jimmy Kimmel, that everyone's free speech alarm bells should be going off in a major way. Democracies do not silence a free press. First of all, if you are a 4th grade teacher and you teach kids, you have no idea what a democracy really is. And if you're out here telling your kids that, you know, democracies do not silence a free press, one, you do not know what a true democracy is. And secondly, America is not a democracy to begin with. It is a constitutional republic with some semblance of democratic values, but it is a constitutional republic, nevertheless. She also then began to mention, this is their hero. No, he shouldn't have been whacked, but I refuse to look past his hatred and praise him as a great American hero. Now, I personally believe that while he was a hero, calling him a great American hero right now, it's a little too early to tell. Alright? It's too early to give him that label. But she also is the kind of person who then posted earlier, reposting a post from Feminist News, I'm so done with people saying he was whacked for speaking his mind, and it's so sad we can't even have political disagreements without friendships ending. And then she goes on to say, this is why I will end any sort of relationships. There is no disagreement over these issues. Mind you, this is a 4th grade teacher that I know from the DMV in the 11th largest school district in the country that had posted this. If you look back to what I said about why I want the Department of Education dismantled, it has nothing to do with politics. It's entirely personal. And that post alone contributes to why I believe it is personal. Jesus, the idiocracy of the left. Then you have Jimmy Kimmel saying all of this dumbass BS over, Charlie Kirk.
And with the MAGA gang desperately trying to
do I need to say more?
characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half-staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Now, I will admit, the way that he nonchalantly, kind of diverts from the question kind of cracked me up, but knowing that Trump liked Charlie so much that he saw him almost as a son, I know deep down he was down in the dumps over it, as was I. But look no further for the BS from Jimmy Kimmel than this.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay?
The fact that you're comparing how Donald Trump mourns Charlie Kirk to a 4-year-old mourning a goldfish alone, Jimbo, that is completely beyond the point. And it's no surprise to me that Nexstar, who owns a share in a lot of ABC networks, is pulling Jimmy Kimmel indefinitely. And even some people on ABC, like Matt Gutman, deserve to lose their job. Because, I'm sorry, but what kind of person, like Matt Gutman, goes on the public broadcast and says that the messages between Charlie Kirk's assassin and his trans lover were touching?
We have seen an alleged murder with such specific text messages about the alleged murder weapon, where it was hidden, how it was placed, what was on it, but also it was very touching in a way that I think many of us didn't expect.
I'm sorry, you found it touching? What of any of these messages you see here, which I believe there's definitely a lot of skepticism to this myself, but what part, if any, of these messages do you find touching? Allow me to read some of this. I'm still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I gotta grab my rifle still. To be honest, I'd hoped to keep this secret till I got whacked of old age. I'm sorry to involve you. You weren't the one who did it, right? I am. I'm sorry. I thought they caught the person. No, they grabbed some crazy old dude. Which, as a side note, the crazy old dude he's referring to is now in possession of cheese pizza and got charged for it. Then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. Why? Why did I do it? Yeah. I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I'm able to grab my rifle unseen, I'll have left no evidence. How long have you been planning this? A bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there's a squad car parked right by it. Then, at the end of this, he says, remember how I was engraving bullets? The effing messages are mostly a big meme, and if I see notices bulge ooh woo on Fox News, I might have a stroke. I'm gonna have to leave it. Like, tell me after reading all of that, does it justify how touching it was? Like, no. You have to be a special kind of stupid to be like Matt Gutman, who says, and I quote, very touching in a way that I think many of us didn't expect. The fact that you can go on a public news site and have the absolute audacity to call those messages touching? Seriously, Matt? It genuinely infuriates me. Even for some people like this. Even for some people like this is infuriating.
Homie dead! Fuck your homie dead! He got shot in the head! Fuck your homie dead! Yeah, fuck your homie dead!
Yeah, I can't say I blame him. Thank goodness that she got expelled. As did another black student at Texas State University, which, kudos to the president of that school. They have gained a newfound respect for me. But that's beside the point. At this time, I'm going to take a little bit of a side note to tell you how this has physically affected me myself. As even though some people are going to come at me saying that I am making it about myself, I'm really not. But when I say that what happened to Charlie was extremely traumatizing, it deeply upset me to the point where I carried a heavy hold in my heart, for several days. And it has affected me psychologically to the point where even the night before he got whacked, I couldn't sleep. To a point where I had foregone meals and fasted for over a week now. And it has reopened wounds from the year that I lost my dad to a point where I had originally thought I had sutured them airtight, but now it's like I'm back to square one. And it has deeply, deeply saddened me and broken my heart to a point where I have felt nothing but anger for the first couple of days after Charlie was whacked. And I don't care who you are, no person, regardless of their political views, should ever have to be whacked simply because they were expressing a different opinion than you. That is the type of behavior that is not human, and if you think celebrating his death will do you any good, it won't. Because that alone is also not human. This is Cinema Avalanche, and I will be signing off tonight by keeping Erica in my thoughts and prayers. And I might plan on doing another video where I discuss this with a couple peers that feel the same way. No word on that officially just yet, but if so, it will definitely be posted to my channel. Until then, this is Cinema Avalanche, and I will see you all on the next video. Take care.